This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well, because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you very much. This is the 49th episode of the MFer Podcast. We are one away from 50, which is halfway to 100. And we're going to get there, folks. We are going to get there. We're going to hit that big 3-digit number podcasting. I mean, I've done many more streams and reached 100 and a few other shows, but that's not really the point. The point is the MFer Podcast. That's the one. That's the biggie. It's the crown jewel of the Foulball Productions vast empire. Thank you for joining me this evening. Just as a reminder, this podcast is currently live on the Foulball Productions channel, as well as Foulball Productions on Rumble, as well as Elon Musk's free speech mecca, Twitter, also known as X, which really was not the best choice to call it that, but I'm there. I like it. Free speech, it is what it is. Just a reminder as well, this podcast tomorrow morning will be up and available on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get podcasts, and if you can find it in your beautiful big heart to go to one of those platforms and give me a 5-star review, I would really appreciate it, because it'll help boost the profile of this show. Therefore, more people will see it, and hopefully, more funny people like you in the chat. But I hope that you're doing well, and I'm glad that you're here. Cotton Ministries, hail to you, sir. Papa, hello. Just another red shirt. Hail, sir. I missed you at the meetup, my friend. Kind of expected to see you there. Disappointed you weren't. But hey, you don't get everything you want in life all the time, do you? Do you? Unfortunately, you don't. That is how life is. Man, I need to tighten the screws on this desk or something, because whenever I touch it, the whole thing just shakes. I don't know. Put the camera on a gimbal or something. I don't know. But hello, Red Shirt. Hello, Sentient Dildo. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you guys. Glad to be here. Glad to be back. Last week I went to the Meetup, the San Antonio Nerdrotic Friday Night Tights, Geeks and Gamers, the whole thing. And I got to tell you, man, I had a lot of fun. Hello, Nadia. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello. Hey, listen, I love Vidge. Vidge was here last week. It is what it is. We happen to be cross-streaming at the same time. This is when I do the show. 8 p.m. on Mondays, man. That's what it is. Why does the thumbnail look like you're taking a poop? Because I'm supposed to be like, I'm like fake angry. Look at me. I'm a weirdo. I'm a wild podcaster guy. It's crazy. You'll never know what you're going to get on this show. But anyway, I went to the Meetup, and I hadn't been to one. I went to one last year with my ex-girlfriend, but this time I went solo, as I'm obviously no longer with her. But I had a great time. it was a lot of faces that I hadn't seen. It's like I kind of forget how cool the like group of people that shows up there is and how like welcoming they are. I saw Jake D. I ran into him. I got to see Culture Casino. I saw Mad Mardigan in the flesh. Not the biggest fella, not super tall, but I did get to see him. And, network, meet some new people. Met Beardo from Geeks and Gamers. He seemed like a cool guy. I met this guy, Egg Roll or something like that. I think that's his name. He's like a game streamer, also like a game artist. Really cool guy. Met a lot of good people. Had a very good time. Wholesome time. And I recommend it. If they're ever in a bar near you, I recommend going to one of those meetups. Cotton Ministries, Where's Your Tattoo? Well, I didn't make it to the to the actual con that they were, Space Con or something, whatever. I was thinking about going, and if there was anyone from the Expanse there, I might have gone, but I wasn't planning on it, and I jetted out of town the following night. But I did get to hang and see some cool people. Vegas meetup, baby. Yes, Vegas meetups are cool. Although I have traveled a lot in the past year. I went to Vegas for Skankfest. I went home. I was in Hawaii with my ex-girlfriend. Last year I was in Costa Rica. I feel like I've been on a plane like every few months, and it's taken a toll on me and also my pocketbooks. I probably will be going home for Christmas, but I think next year I'm gonna limit my trips to drivable, because flyable is expensive. Hotels, the whole thing is kind of a lot. I've been on the road quite a bit, but I had a really good time. I really did. I wasn't sure, how it was gonna go, because you never really do, but it was great. It was great. Got to reconnect with some fun people, and I didn't even get that wasted. I didn't even get that. Cotton says those tattoos were super cringe. I thought they were kind of cool. I thought it was cool. I wouldn't have gotten one, but I think it was like, I get it. That's the squad. I mean, it's like their whole thing, I mean, they're all on the team. X-Ray Girl is like, who's, by the way, super fucking cool. X-Ray Girl is awesome. I really like X-Ray Girl. But she, they're all on the squad. I thought it was cool. I got it. If you guys all want to get Foulball Productions tattoos, I will not call it cringe. I will not. I don't have any ink. And I don't think I'm going to start with the logo of my YouTube channel, personally. But like I said, I don't have any tattoos. If it was just one of many, maybe. But I think maybe I'll just get like a big back, like a full back tattoo with like my logo and like Wendell, Luke, Ruben, the whole Foulball Productions. I'll do a little tax break down in the corner with the MAGA with the MAGA hat on. I thought they were cool. I genuinely thought it was cool. But I get it. I understand. I'm just not a tattoo guy. Show my lower back. I do not have a tramp stamp. But that was fun. Weekend was pretty uneventful, except me and my buddy, my Irish buddy Connor. We've been playing golf. He invited me a few weeks ago to go play a pitch and putt here in Austin. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Sure, why not? And I got to tell you, I'm into it. I'm like into golf now. I went to Top Golf like a few weeks back before my buddy took off, went to Seattle with his fucking go live in the communist utopia of Seattle. I went to Top Golf, which was actually really fun. If you've ever done it, it's like a driving range, but they serve booze, and then there's like little. It's like a game. You're trying to hit certain locations, and then you get points and stuff like that. It sounds corny, but it's honestly super fun. So that, and then like the pitch and putt, and like I've just been really liking it. I found out there's like a driving range pretty close to me, and I'm like trying to build up to playing like a real course. It's kind of nice. It's you're outside, you're in the sun. Obviously, I'm in Texas. It's still hot as hell. It's still like 90 every day here. But it's like you're outside. You're getting a little bit of exercise. Nothing crazy, but you're fresh air. And then it's got that thing that like a lot of different like fun hobbies have. Not quite to the level of like a martial art or jiu-jitsu, but you're focusing all your focus on one thing. And, it's trying to get the golf ball to go straight for me, basically. You know what I mean? And you know how hard that is for me to be straight. But It's just like, and it's like you focus, and then when you're done, it's kind of like meditative. It's like relaxing. It's like challenging. You're trying to get better, but it's a very like a nice relaxing day and a way of like getting like a little bit of exercise. You're walking around, pitching or putting. I pitch and putt. All right, send you dildo. I know that was a homosexual illusion, but that is no. Put a few drinks in your golf bag. Well, the place I go to serves beer and hard seltzers, which you guys know I like the hard seltzers. Call me gay. I don't care. They're delicious and they're low in calories. But the place I go, they serve, and then like halfway through the course, there's like a cart girl who's got like booze for you. So it's great. It's great. What's up, Zax? Good to see you, sir. I was on Zach's channel over the weekend. Had a good time. Had some good laughs. That was a fun time. That was a good show. Circle of Jerks. Recommend that if you're not subscribed to Zach's. Go over there and you can watch the replay of our show. It was really fun. Well, Zach's show that I was on. A pitcher and a catcher. I swing both ways. But yeah. And by the way, next week, Zach's is going to be on this very channel as well as 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, because we're going to be talking about the election. Going to be talking about some past elections, talk about like what we can expect, how it's doing, if Trump made it all the way into being even potentially to get in there. I went and voted today. Indeed, I did. A zesty seltzer catcher. You know what, Sencha Dildo? You can cast all these aspersions on me all you want, but you know what? I'm living my best life. I'm out here playing golf and drinking hard seltzers. I got no complaints. Having my sour straws vape. I'm crushing. I'm crushing right now. Okay, this is what crushing looks like right here. Peak male performance. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the election and all that. And I went out and voted today. I was getting a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to vote because. So when I was in Vegas, last day in Vegas, this is like almost a month ago now. Me and my buddy stopped by a coffee shop because we had some time to kill before our flight. Couldn't stay at the hotel any longer. Had to go somewhere before we go to the airport, so on and so forth. Go to a coffee shop. My wallet slips out of my pants. They are already closed by the time we go back to find it. It's gone, so I didn't have my wallet. Definitely my fault. Totally understand that. So I had to go to the airport and be like, I don't have my ID, and they had to call this this government institution that had all the details of me, asked me like what's my social, what's a car I have registered, where did I get my first driver's license, questions like that. So I answered it, no problem, got on the plane. Problem is, I left my wallet, which has my driver's license in it. So I called the coffee shop the next day. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll send it out. No problem. I was like, oh, thank you. You guys are the best, Kind of like 10 days goes by. I'm trying to be not too pushy because they're doing me a favor, right? I call them back and I'm like, hey, I'm the guy with the wallet. Did you guys happen to send that out? They're like, oh, no. We had to confirm with you that it was, the address on the license. And I'm like, what? What possible scam could I be running here? So I, found a missing wallet, slipped my own license into it, and then was hoping you'd mail me the wallet? Under what circumstances or scenario could that be anything other than getting the person whose wallet is their wallet? Like, it has the address on the license. It's their wallet. Even if it's not the guy on the other end of the phone, the person whose wallet that is the person who's got the license. I couldn't fathom what the hell they were talking about. I was like, okay, trying not to splinter my teeth by clenching my jaw angrily. So I eventually, I'm like, okay, confirm the address. They're like, oh, great, we'll send it out. It's just like, yeah. Criminal mastermind here, insane. So another 10 days goes by. And I call them, and they're like, oh, yeah. We couldn't send it out yet because our manager had to confirm and had to do it. And I'm like, I will pay you whatever dollar amount it takes for you to send me my friggin' wallet. Please. I need my identification. I canceled all the credit cards. That's no big deal. And just send me a new one. That's nothing. But the license, I need that. Oh my God! Plus, I like that wallet. My dad gave it to me. It's got a little bit of a game-used Mets baseball in it. I want that wallet back. Goddamn people! And then to top it all off, my friend, when he fucks off to Seattle, he's also my roommate. He saw my passport because I've been using my passport as identification around town. He saw my passport, thought it was his passport, and then packed it and brought it to him brought him with him to Seattle. Now, the first one was my fault. This one was not my fault. It's not my fault that he just didn't check to see whose passport was on the kitchen table. So I've had no ID for like a week or more, week and a half. It's like, oh my God, so enraging. So enraging. Finally, my friend, I didn't get the wallet back, but I got my passport back today. So I was able to go and cast my vote for Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. I've been lying to you. I'm a lib. I'm a white guy for Kamala. I've been tricking you. No, that's not true. I voted for Donald J. Trump. And that felt kind of extra good to cast that vote in Austin, Texas. It felt kind of like, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. You can't call me racist. None of that'll stop me from doing this. The person working the booth, like doing the voter ID stuff, very gender non-specific. I really couldn't. I think it was a woman who was dressing like a man, but like, you know, kind of like in the like lesbian-y way, you know, but I honestly could not place this person's gender at all. And I had a feeling based on like all the earrings and stuff like that. We probably didn't share our same political views. Just a guess. I don't know. Maybe she's a big Trump person. I don't know. But no, it felt extra good. Like there's nothing you can do to stop me. I'm doing it. Not that it matters in the great state of Texas. That's almost certainly going to Trump, but it still felt good. Also felt good to get it out of the way. There was no line. When I went to go vote last time, it was a line. It was a long line. It took a while. And then this time, nope, just shot right in. Early vote. Donald J. Trump. Donald Day Trump. Jesus Christ. And then like, so then the rest of the ticket though, I was like, I don't actually know. Like, I don't even know the local election, which I know is embarrassing. That's the one I probably should know. Not that it matters in a city like Austin. I have no say in what that is. But I basically was like, all right, I'll just go Republican down the ticket unless I see a Libertarian. Then just to boost the Libertarian numbers, I voted for them. But there were things like head of the Railroad Commission. I don't know. Why is that a voting thing? I don't know who the hell. Why is that? What possible opinion could the average voter have on the Railroad Commission? That's a weird one. And then it was like there was like 10 unopposed circuit judge seats that just had like this circuit, which I mean, I don't know. I guess I should look it up. But then there was like all unopposed, all Democrats. So I was like, well, I'm not going to vote for that. I don't even know what that is. So it was I definitely felt it's like that thing where you feel like you're smart or informed and then you realize you're just not. You're just like the bulk of the voting populace like everyone else. You just you're like, oh, I didn't do any real research, did I? I was like, all right, I'm just gonna be a fucking boomer ass motherfucker and just Republican down the ticket unless it says Libertarian. Oh, hello, Vigilante Williamson. Good to see you, sir. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Why are you trying to apply logic to a government body? Fair. Should have just said IDs are unconstitutional, lol. Not in the great state of Texas. Not the great state of Texas. They actually do think it makes sense to assign an identification to someone who's going to vote. This is the craziest argument I ever heard. I was arguing with some guy. Not arguing, just discussing it. When I worked at the whiskey distillery a few years back. And the guy was telling me, he was a big lib, and he's just like, oh, these people, they can't take time out to work. Some people are working 3 jobs. They can't take time out to go get an ID. And I was kind of like just listening to him. And then later I'm like, how the fuck are you working 3 jobs without an ID? What, there's no W-2s at any of those jobs? It's like, well, then maybe you're not paying taxes, in which case you shouldn't be voting. Like, it's not up to you then. It's the most ridiculous argument. It's like, no one makes that claim when it comes to alcohol. No one's like, hey, it's racist that black people can't drink, Mexican people can't drink, because, they have to ask for ID. It never comes up. Never comes up. No one says that about flying. The only time it ever comes up is voting. So ridiculous. Absurd. Hello, the lovely Sherry. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Oh, no, you're not talking about the government. My bad. Oh, wait, what are you talking about? Are you talking about I don't even know anymore. Oh, I'm losing the thing. You won't be alone even out there. No, I mean, Trump's got groundswell, dude. People are actually really into it. You could feel it. I was listening to Dave Smith earlier, and he's like, it reminds me of like Obama in 08. And I was like, yeah, kind of. It has like that much like authentic excitement and push, People really behind him, which puts a lot of pressure on him, and hopefully he won't be like Obama. He'll actually do a good job. Will they count it is the question. I do not know the level of voter integrity that is to the Texas state government, voting process. I don't know. I hope it's flawless. I hope it's great. I don't know. I heard that there was some ballots being burned in Washington state. Someone lit a fire in like a ballot box and just like burned up a bunch of votes. How do you know that those votes are for your opponent, right? Like, why would you just do that? I don't understand. It's so like, what's the word? Anarchical. Is that the correct word? Anarchical? I don't know. But I saw that. It was just like, oh, God, how annoying. Vij says, I saw at the gym, they were like 6'3". Wait, I do not know what you're saying, my friend. I did make a difference. You're right, Sentient Dildo. Every vote I've ever casted has made a difference, In New Jersey, blue as the ocean. California, I mean, they're so blue they're red. And then Texas, I mean, it's just, it's like no vote I've ever cast has ever mattered. It's just, it's the most, every single state's predetermined. You shouldn't even vote. It's going to that state's party. But yeah. Oh, shoot. What's going on here? All them alt-right memes and James Lindsay videos, and you're an uninformed voter. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm just, I think I know things. I don't know shit. I don't know anything. But anyway, yeah. So that it also just kind of felt like a chore to get out of the way. I was like, good, I can do this. Like it was dawning on me, like when I didn't have my passport and I didn't have my license. I'm like, oh shit, I might not be able to vote, and I really wanted to. I hope that that's a good thing and not a lame thing. Like, I was, like, pumped to vote. Like, does that make me really lame? Is that just like, ew, dude, you're excited? Wow, cool. Maybe you're taking this a little too seriously. But I was pumped. I kind of like it. It feels defiant. It feels defiant to be like, fuck you, establishment. Tell me what to think, what to do, what drugs to put in my body, my choice. But I don't know. It felt cool. It felt good. And it also just felt like rebellious, like doing it in Austin. You're just like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Nothing. You can't stop me. I'm voting for Donald Trump. But yeah. So that was, I participated in our civic system, which will elect a legislature and will enact laws, as this is a country of laws and not people. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Trump, I don't know if you guys saw this, but what's his name? Tony Hinchcliff. He performed. Oh, what the fug? No, I was reading it earlier. Damn it. Why the hell would you have to pay for this? So Tony Hinchcliff, he performed at Donald Trump's MSG rally last night, Madison Square Garden, for you foreigners who don't know what we're talking about here. And he made a joke. Not everyone loved it. Not everyone loved it. I feel like if you've been on social media today, you've seen it. But I think I'll show it just for the sake of posterity, just so that we're all on the same, Jesus Christ, we're all on the same page here. And honey, I was going to pull up an article with it in it, but then it was from the Daily Beast, and they wouldn't let, I have to pay. I have to pay to read this horrific trash. Terrible article. Let me see if I can't find the joke. There we go. This is the joke that everyone, all the internet was a light about. There were some like doomer Republicans getting all pissed off. There was Carl Benjamin was going off on the woke right. The libs were losing their minds. Take a listen.
It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And you know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. No, it is absolutely.
So that's it. That's the big deal. Floating island of garbage, and he said Puerto Rico. Well, I mean, that's it for the Trump campaign, I guess. You know why? Because we're not snowflakes in Trump camp, all right? We can take jokes. It's funny. It is kind of funny when people say that until, like, you catch them, like, on something that actually does hurt them, and suddenly they can't take a joke, can they? But I don't really think anyone gives a shit. I will say, maybe Hinchcliff isn't the best booking for a rally like that. Like, that is 100% like a joke that Tony would make all the time. I mean, his jokes are vicious. He's a vicious little munchkin. He's a mean little man, and that's the type of stuff he does. So I don't know who you thought you were booking. You know, maybe they just got so caught up because, you know, he recently sold out Madison Square Garden and he did great on the Tom Brady roast and all that. Maybe he's just like a big personality. It's just kind of like, in retrospect, I mean, you probably should have thought that one through. You know, you probably want someone more like, and maybe he's even a little rough, but more like a Nick DiPaolo. You know, someone who's just going to say all the things for your side, you know, because like that joke about Puerto Rico, while funny, at a political rally, it's like, you know, maybe not the best choice. I mean, I don't care. I didn't even think about it as a bad thing. I was just like, oh, okay, they didn't like that joke. And I moved on. And then when I woke up today and, you know, scrolled Twitter, it's just like everyone's like, I will not be voting for a racist. And then you go and look at their X profile and it's all just like Kamala Harris and like, you know, how much they hate Trump. You're like, all right, well, I mean, nothing changed here. I don't think any needle was moved by this. I really just think it's a story for people to talk about. But, you know, to the Trump camp, maybe not the best. It would have been funnier if Shane went up there and did his Trump. That would have been great. That would have been very funny. I think that would have gone over better and probably was a better booking. Also, you know, like, all due respect, you know, I mean, there's a lot of kind of like pearl clutching that goes on the right and kind of a lot of boomers and stuff like that who aren't going to appreciate that level of humor. So, I mean, let's be real, but I'm pretty sure this is just going to blow over tomorrow and won't be a story. But it has been everywhere today, and I'm so upset I can't read this stupid Daily Beast article because it was like hardcore liberal pearl clutching. And she's like, this comedian, despite saying anything funny, this alleged comic, you're like, he's literally one of the biggest comedians in the world. He sold out Madison Square Garden twice. 2 times. He's got the biggest podcast, or one of the biggest podcasts in the world. The idea, like, I hate when they do that. Like, it's just like, oh, this fucking, like, liberal journalist thinks he's not funny, therefore he's not a comedian. It's like, you don't get to define that. That isn't up to you. But it's like, I think all the fellas out there, I think you guys have probably all been through that, where you've made an off-color joke or maybe an edgy joke, and one of your girlfriend's friends didn't like it, and we're all supposed to just go with that reaction, despite the fact that she's a boring stick in the mud, and she's a sensitive autist who can't understand that you were kidding, thinks it's like a literal statement. I've been through this many times. And not even with just my recent ex, it's just in general. Just unfunny broads who like don't get it. I think it was like Ryan Long was talking about this like years ago, and the reason why he started the Boys Cast, because he's just like, when you're hanging out with boys and like, a guy from a different race or whatever ethnicity background comes over, you don't really change what you're talking about. You pretty much just kind of keep it the same. But when girls come over, you definitely change. You definitely change like how you communicate, what jokes you put out there, and you kind of have to. I mean, it's just like, that's why guys don't like hanging out with their girlfriend's friends, because they have to behave like a different person. It's exhausting. And I think that's kind of what we're facing with the Tony Hinchcliff thing. Like, it's like, shut the fuck up. It's just a joke. Also, I mean, I've never been to Puerto Rico, but I mean, I don't think it's like the nicest place in the world. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a funny joke. Whatever. Chat's going. Can you do a good DT impression? Not really. I'm ripping off Shane. What a loser. I'm just like doing like a version of his, you're gay. It's just that, but that's not mine. I just stole it from like the things that Shane figured out about Trump. I'm not really that good. I don't really do great impressions. I've never really been able to do it. There's a few. Kind of do Catman. And goddamn hippies. What I said to her, all you want to do is smoke pot and smell bad. But even that's not that great. I can't really do impressions. It's not really my thing. Canceled Tony again. This time I hurt him really bad. That was the other thing too. It was just like the only negative outcome this could possibly have is on the Trump campaign. It's not going to hurt Tony Hinchcliff. It's just like none of his fans are going to be like, what did he say? He made a racist joke. He made a mean, vicious joke. Whoa, not Tony Hinchcliff. Get the hell out of here. Oh, this is the first time you heard it, Zax? Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all. Made a joke about Puerto Rico being a floating pile of garbage. That's the whole joke. That was it. That was the entire, long and short of the entire joke. Lame people need to have a sense of humor. I mean, yeah, or we just need to not listen to them when they don't have one. It's not our problem. Sucks you're an unfunny bore. Oh well. Other people are laughing. Just because you're not, it doesn't actually matter. I really feel like that's the kind of way we need to adapt. That's the perspective we need to all collectively adopt. It's just like, okay, yeah, we don't care. Like, you're the boring one here. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. His whole speech was good. Yeah, no, it seemed like it was pretty good. I thought like when I first heard Tony was doing it, I was like, that's great. That looks awesome. Tony's a big deal. Yitch. But I mean, whatever. It's just there's 9/11 jokes. Yes, exactly. It was a mid joke, but not that controversial. It's just like it's controversial because it's not all that funny. Yeah, it really wasn't like the funniest joke, but I also feel like that's kind of a tough. They're not there for comedy, right? They're there for political home runs. They want to hear, because even that joke didn't do that great in that room. He addresses it after that. He's like, oh, okay, all right. Well, I don't normally have to follow the national anthem. But that's like that whole, they're not there for comedy. They're there for, we're going to win. Kamala's a communist. They want those kind of moments. Having like a vicious joke at the expense of Puerto Rico is not really what they're there for. It wasn't his best joke, but it was better than anyone at the Kamala rally. Yeah. I'll tell you a joke. Her tax policy. Am I right? Oh, they should have had me up there. I'd have killed. I'd have crushed that room. I will tell you a joke is fucking Tampon Tim trying to pretend like he knows football. That was embarrassing. That really was embarrassing. It's like one of those things that goes around on Twitter, but I'm going to run a pick six. That's not... You don't run a pick... Shut up, idiot. Man, I called J.D. Vance Gold Dust, and Republicans got their panties in a bunch. Why'd you call him Gold Dust? Because he looks like Gold Dust? I know. I mean, I know who Gold Dust is, but I don't see... maybe I don't see it. I don't know. No, you're right. Missing Shane is Trump, 100%. Tony loves Trump. Good. He's got good taste in politicians. He's a smart guy, just like your host here. Just like your host here. Can't hear you, Matt. The sound of pearl clutching is overwhelming. Huh? Manolo, lots of faux pearl clutching. Yeah, lots of faux pearl clutching. They're just trying to find anything. I mean, it was going on Twitter, and I was listening to it on Dave Smith earlier, and it's just like the October surprise is Trump's Hitler. They did this speech. You know who else did a speech at Madison Square Garden? You know who else did a rally? The Nazis. That's right, folks. In the late 30s, I guess there was a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden. So the fact that Trump's there, boom. I mean, there's nothing else to it. It's the most ridiculous thing. So I guess the New York Knicks are a bunch of Nazis then. Is that what you're saying? The New York Rangers as well? I mean, I'm pretty sure, like the amount of rappers, I was going to say Kanye, but actually, that one might actually be true. But I'm sure Jay-Z, he's played MSG. Sebastian Maniscalco, they're all Nazis, huh? Okay, yeah. A bit like the Four Seasons. Right, exactly. Are Puerto Rican people gay enough to care about this? Probably not ones that were ever going to vote for Trump. Probably just people who are perpetually offended and upset. Probably them. Hello, Judicon. Hey, I'm Matt for Matt Foulball Productions. I haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome back, bro. It's good to be back. It's good to be back, Judicon, and you can always catch me on the MFer Podcast every Monday. And it's just a reminder for you folks, next Monday is going to be Zach's. Right there, fresh out the chat with 32 Flavors and Nick Weiser. We're going to be talking politics, big time. The whole stream, really detailed and racist. And we're talking pre-election. Pre-election, because it will be the election night the next night. Shane isn't going anywhere near Trump. He wants to be mainstream. I don't know about that, dude. I mean, there are so many clips of him, saying really horrible things, doing the whole Trump impression. It's not really an impression at the expense of Shane. And Shane does what he wants. I mean, that's the beauty of Shane. He does whatever the hell he wants. I mean, he has his podcast where he says whatever the hell he wants. He did the thing like he did, what's it called? Kill Tony, as Trump and, dropping all kinds of crazy lines and stuff. And I don't know. I don't see it like that. I mean, Bud Light came to him to rescue their brand, not the other way around. And the only real mainstream thing he has beyond that is tires on Netflix. But, you can see Netflix is not, they don't really care anymore. They don't really care anymore. I mean, they did the whole Tony Hinchcliffe's roast of Tom Brady. There was 1,000 gay jokes on it. I don't really see it that way. I think he's a cowboy. He's a cultural cowboy out there on the frontier, on the range. Hannah Gatsby is a comedian, though. Good point, Vidge. I imagine that same journalist wasn't like, this comedian telling jokes. Yeah. Conservative inks boomers are whammon. They get lame, and there's still people who are, it's just like, cursing's bad. I don't like that. I don't care for that kind of. Shut up. But the thing is, you'll never lose those people anyway, so you don't need to pander to them. They're not going to be like, well, I don't care for that language, so I'm voting for Kamala Harris. It was kind of sick. On the ballot, Trump was first. I was like, yes, let's go. Oh, yeah. Good point, Manolo. Meanwhile, anyone audit the George Lopez set at the Kamala rally? That's right. No one saw it. I didn't even recognize him. Did you guys see this? Did you guys see George Lopez at Kamala? He looks like a drug lord, like a cartel kingpin. He looks crazy. He used to be like a sharp-looking guy. I didn't even recognize him. Someone had to tell me it was George Lopez. I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it was him. We'll do a little bit of George Lopez. Jorge Lopez.
Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall, and George Lopez said, you better build it in one day, because if you leave that material out there overnight.
That's racist. That was a racist joke, George. Where's the outrage there? Suggesting Mexican steel? That's racist, and I don't care for that kind of humor. You know what? I was going to, but now I'm not going to vote for Kamala. I'm not doing it now. Not with racist supporters like that. That's crazy. What even is the joke there? I mean, it's kind of like the same thing as like Tony. It's just kind of like, who are you playing? Who's that joke for? It's kind of like, it's not even that bad, but it's just kind of like, wait, what? Like, your supporters aren't going to be like, oh yeah, that's great. You know, I like that we're making jokes that Mexicans steal. It's just like, wait a minute, you're at the wrong rally, George. MSG is where you want to be. Political rallies seem like lame gigs, but I bet they pay well. I bet they do. I bet they do pay really well. And I don't know, man. Trump's been making them pretty fun until you get to the speeches. Then I'm like, whatever. But I mean, you got the Hulkster ripping off his shirt. You got Hinchcliff, you know. You got like all these like fun people, you know, this music, you know. Lee Greenwood playing Proud to Be an American, which one time when I was working at the last bar I worked at before I got hurt, me and my buddy were working there. We were bored. So we played Lee Greenwood, Proud to Be an American. Yo, in a bar, that is utterly hilarious. And then people were walking in like, is this Proud to Be an American? I didn't remember how operatic that song is. It's so like grandiose, and I'm proud to be an American, and it's like operatic. It's like so over the top. Playing that in a bar is hilarious. Hello, Glinser. Was that George Lopez or the Geico caveman? Yeah, exactly. He looks like one of those cartel guy like leaders who've been like on the run, you know, haven't had time to shave. It was wild. Wild. You totally hang out with Randy Quaid? Oh yeah, I went through a list of all the Trump-supporting celebrities, and Randy Quaid's on there, as well as Dennis Quaid, funnily enough. And I got to be honest, the most interesting person on that list to me was that guy, Zachary Levi? Is that his name? The guy who's in the Shazam movie? That's kind of impressive. I mean, I don't think necessarily the Shazam movie franchise is like over. And the idea that like a mainstream Hollywood lead actor like that, a younger one at that, is like outwardly supporting Trump, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty badass. It's like, wow, that's brave, man. You got a lot more to lose than most. And Hollywood, they're not too thrilled about their Trump supporting celebrities. I mean, guys like James Woods or what's that guy, Angelina Jolie's father? What's his name? I can see his face. Shit. I cannot remember his name. Anyway, him, they're so legacy. They're so like built in. They're not going anywhere, you know. And like they're old. How many more roles are they really getting? Doesn't even matter. Don't even matter. But clips of Shane is one thing. Doing a political rally is another. I think Shane probably wouldn't do it because he wouldn't think it was that funny. I feel like his entire North Star is like, is it funny? And I feel like it's not like all that funny. Plus, I think he likes to take the piss out of people. I think he likes to make fun of like the whole thing. Left, right, up, down, center, the whole thing. I don't think he really... What's up, the big ship? Thank you, Glinzer. John Voight. Yes, thank you, John Voight. John Voight, Jerry. John Voight. Hello, big ship. Good to see you, sir. We are indeed nerds. Thank you for pointing that out. What else? What else we got going on here? Oh, I don't know if I want to keep talking about Trump. I mean, I saw Trump on Rogan. I watched about an hour of it, which was honestly kind of not easy. You know, like I'm a Trump supporter. It's very clear, but I don't really listen to the extended speeches. You know, kind of the same shit. I mean, I feel like I've been hearing it a lot, and I'm like, great, go do that. But I just to sit and listen to the whole thing, the response was super positive. People were like really into it. Like the clips, the response, you know, it's hard to even I don't even think the libs had too many things to dunk on him about, you know. It was just kind of, he did good. You know, he sat there for 3 hours and just talked. And Rogan is to be consumed in 1 minute clips only. He did a pretty good job, I thought, with Trump. You know, I think with like the bigger guests or people he doesn't really know or he's not familiar with, he really lets them talk. And he like really, you know, tried to keep tried to keep Trump on topic a few times, and he's like, "Yeah, you're really, what's he call it, the weave? You've like really weaved off very far." He kept trying to get him to direct answers. It wasn't like an aggressive interview. It wasn't like he was trying to get him, but he was genuinely having a real conversation with him. And he's just like, "Wait, everybody knows that," and then like get back to the point. Like he wasn't dealing with him with kid gloves. He certainly wasn't looking like all reverence to him and like, treating him like, infantilizingly, if that's a word. But he was, really having a conversation with Trump, I just got bored with it. An hour is a fair amount. Another 2 hours. It's like, I don't know if the conversation started going into other realms, because that's actually what I do really like listening to Trump. Like he did, what's that show called? UFC Unfiltered with Jim Norton and Matt Serra. I thought that was really interesting. They just sat there and talked about fighting for, an hour. It was great. It was really interesting. Cotton Ministries, Papa said, I listened to it last night. Did you like it? 3 hours is a long time to sit there and talk about politics. It's just kind of like, all right, let's move on. I'm getting bored talking about it right now. It's been 30 minutes. But I thought it was a good thing that it happened. There was controversy today because actually YouTube and Google did try to suppress it. Like I saw it going around on Twitter, on X, and it was just like, oh, if you search this, it won't come up. And I was like, shut up. Yes, it will. And I checked it, and no, actually you couldn't. It did not come up. If you searched into YouTube, Joe Rogan, Trump, bunch of clips came up. Then I tried full interview, and it did not show up. Now, granted, it wasn't like it was buried. It wasn't like it was impossible to find. All you really had to do was just go to Joe Rogan's homepage or like JRE and just go there and find it. It's the top video. But that's crazy. A presidential candidate sat down with the biggest podcaster in the world and you're suppressing it. It's just like, wow, dude, so biased, man. It's crazy. It's like you don't even really need to touch that one. It's going to be so successful whether or not you promote it. Just let it go. Hey, what's up, Wake Down? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Trump has hosted some big fights, especially boxing. Yeah, that's why that conversation was so interesting, because he really knew what he was talking about. Really gave a shit about fighting. But yeah, it was so ridiculous. And then I guess Elon pointed it out, and then they fixed it. So now if you go on YouTube and search it, it will be the first result. It's like what it should be. Joe Rogan, Trump, it should be the first result. 35 million views in a day and a half or whatever it is. Yeah, that should be the first thing that comes up easy. That's like the algorithm you don't even need to try. It's like the top, it should be the top. I mean, it's just so stupid. It's like, obviously you're suppressing it. And to what end? It's like, you guys misplay every step of the way. All you're doing is giving them more ammunition, more proof that a vote for Trump is a vote against the establishment. You idiots. But hey, we'll see what happens in a week's time. Election day is in a week from tomorrow. We'll see. Apparently, they're saying it might take all week to get all the votes counted and so on and so forth. I don't know. Whatever. I hope it's a free and fair election, and I hope we don't have any issues. And I really hope that, come this time, 2 weeks from now, Donnie T is the new president. And, Wake Down. Yeah, good pickup, man. It's an Expand shirt. Yes, indeed. Pure and Clean Water Company. Very nice. Very nice. Google top Kamala donor. They can't handle the truth. That's right, Sentient Dildo. All right. I will Google top Kamala donor. I will use those exact words. Top Kamala donor. Top contributors, federal election data. American Bridge. Oh, wait. Future Forward USA Action. That is the number one that has come up on this website, which that's what it said. So I'm just following your instructions. Help rebuild America's middle class and American democracy by advancing new ideas and fresh perspectives. I mean, that sounds like horse shit. Paid for by, I don't know, this feels like a shell. This just feels like some kind of activist group but I mean, I don't know. Who are you trying to show me? What exactly is the is the fact you're trying to get me to uncover. Because I don't know. I'm not coming up with what you're trying to show me. I mean, unless you're trying to show me that, which I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, Forbes says, Kamala has more billionaires prominently backing her than Trump. Huh. That's hilarious. That is so funny. The anti-billionaire party has more billionaires supporting than Trump. The entire narrative against Trump is that he's going to help his friends, that he's going to cut government and then like give all the money, his cronies like Elon and all like his rich buddies, blah, blah, blah. And then Kamala has more billionaires prominently backing her than Trump. That's hilarious. That's utterly hilarious. Forbes found at least 100 billionaires. Oh, in either. Okay. 100 billionaires in either Trump or Kamala, with many more backing Harris. Wow. 82 billionaires supporting Harris. 82. You think that's because they think they're going to get taxed more? You think they're going to be doing their fair share, as you say? You think that's why they're supporting her? They're like, oh, you know what? I love this girl. I don't want to have as much money. I want to get rid of it for more social programs, and I want to give it away to Ukraine. Or do you think maybe, just maybe, there's a chance those people are going to make more money under a Kamala Harris administration? Unreal. Unbelievable. Google is top corporate donor. Ah, yes. Well, that actually makes sense. Good call, Manolo. Good call, Manolo. That makes perfect sense. Glad you approve. Wake down. As a 49ers fan's prop to Nick Bosa for flashing his MAGA hat during the 49ers postgame. I saw that. That was cool. Yeah, that's what I mean with this election. It's different. I see so much just different responses. I was talking about this last time with Vidge, but I mean, there's like an Instagram account that I follow. It's like 365 Austin. It's like just what's going on in the city of Austin. And anytime it's political, anytime Trump comes up, the entire comment section is full of Trump, pro Trump, and that's not how it used to be. It's just different now. It's not like a social death sentence to be a public Trump supporter. Like, it's okay now. And I think that has changed a lot. I think it's going to change a lot of the outcome of the election. And just culturally, you can just kind of feel it in the air. It's just a little bit different. When they say they rebuild the middle class, they mean replace the middle class. Yes, true wake down. Build back better, middle class. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. I have some cringe. That's right. I have some cringe. I'll read a few more of your guys' super chat or just chats, and then we'll get into the cringe. I think he means Google's a top donor, though the billionaire status is hilarious. That's pretty funny, eh? I didn't even know that. That's just something I just discovered now. So funny. The left is like anti-billionaire, pro-taxes, and it's like all these billionaires. Sus. LA liberals. Trump is a rich fat cat who thinks he can buy anything. Damn these super rich. Oh, and go Dodgers. I will say go Dodgers though over the Yankees. Boy, I do not like them. Okay, cool. I got some Kamala cringe. So this was a recent speech she did. I'm not entirely sure where, but it was going around on Twitter earlier today, and I thought it was hilarious. There might be some slight editing just to kind of cinch it up, but it's just an hour long. It's just an hour long. Just an hour long of Kamala Harris, guys. Strap in. No, it's just a minute long. Here we go.
We were born for a time such as this, and I have faith He is going to carry us forward, and the road ahead won't be easy. It will require perseverance and hard work.
Can I get an amen?
But in times of uncertainty, Scripture reminds us, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
Do you feel joy? Say joy.
The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning.
Only God can give that woman the kind of joy she had right there.
And church, morning is on its way. God bless you. God bless America.
Can I get an amen?
There might have been a little editing there on my part, but her black preacher voice is the cringiest thing she's ever done. That's the cringe. That's the worst. The Southern one wasn't great, but that one made me like, like I like cringed in my chair by myself watching that. It made me so anxious. And then I thought it'd be funny to put the preacher from Coming to America in there. Just as a little context. Can I get an amen? That's what she's doing. Oh, Lord. She's preaching the truth. Yes, I know. It reminded me, sick of her voice acting, I know. Martin Luther Queen Jr. That's a good one, Papa Cotton. You know what? I was going to, you know what? Just as a refresher to everyone, because this was a good one from history. Just to remind, as much as she's a cringe lord, she's not the first one to cringe out the audience. Oof, this one's brutal. They're both bad, but this one, oh my God. Is Baroots.
My friends, we have a march to finish. I will be reintroducing the Count Every Vote Act to ensure that every voter is given the opportunity to vote, that every vote is counted, and each voter is given the chance to verify his or her vote before it is cast and made permanent.
Whether you're living or not. We're going to get every vote in there, even if you're dead.
We have to stay awake. We have a march to finish. On this Lord's Day, let us say with one voice the words of James Cleveland's great freedom hymn. I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far
to leave me. Brutal. Man, those are rough. Wake down. My YouTube channel is so dead it votes blue. Oh my God. She invited to the cookout. Yes, indeed. Oh my God. Oh my word. That's a whole lot. I got a few other stories. I guess a few editors at the Washington Post decided that they stepped down. They no longer want to work at the Washington Post because they refuse to endorse a candidate. It's just like, dude, you're reading the Washington Post. We know what your leanings are at. We understand. There's no like Trump voters being like, they endorse Kamala? Well, I'm no longer going to read this rag. How dare they? It's like utterly absurd. Two Washington Post journalists stepped down from editorial board in protest of non-endorsement. NPR reports more than 200,000 canceled subscriptions. Wow, that's actually surprising. Is that like immediately following the non-endorsement? Wow, maybe I'm wrong. Stepped down at the editorial board. Jeff Bezos with concerns it was a way for owner Jeff Bezos to placate Donald Trump. What the hell does he care? Isn't he like retired? It says more than 200,000 people have canceled their digital subscriptions as of midday Monday. But that doesn't say like when. Like what's the span of time? Is that from the moment they didn't announce they're going to endorse, or is that just in general? I bet that's more like in general. People just aren't subscribing to news outlets. You don't have to. First of all, the news isn't like the news anymore. They all report on the same story. Like I've looked into this. Like I try to be very well researched on a particular story, and literally you just end up with the same details on every single outlet. It's like they all get it from the Associated Press, and then they all just like reword it in their own way. It's like you don't need a subscription to like a news outlet. The only thing I think is like even, like recipes or, you know, even like cultural stuff that you can't get from other publications. Other than that, I can't even, I don't know. It's so stupid. And actually, I don't even care. The news sucks. Fuck the news. I don't really give a shit. So it's like, all right, you dorks. They really are having a meltdown. I mean, they really are. It's like, I don't like to just throw that around and just say the legacy media is failing, but the legacy media is failing, and they are throwing a little bitch fit. It's pretty hilarious to watch, actually. I kind of like it, and I really, really hope Trump gets in so that they just can have like another 4-year spurging meltdown. I don't think it's going to work this time. I don't think it's going to have the same effect, you know? I know a lot of people who voted for Biden in 2020 because they just kind of wanted all the bullshit to stop. And it's like, that wasn't the cause of the bullshit. The cause of the bullshit was the mainstream establishment. There's a reason why they're all pissed off that Trump's in or was in. That's their, you know, it's anti their access to power. It's anti their narratives. All the reasons. You guys know. I don't need to list them. They understand. Wait, they stepped down because the Post ain't endorsing a candidate or because they did? No, because they didn't. They would not endorse a candidate. And that is far beyond the pale for the Washington Post. You must toe the line. So friggin' ridiculous. Journalists with integrity? Nonsense. I would assume that it's just people realizing they're paying people to lie to them. MSM is losing steam. I agree. I genuinely agree. I really don't think it works the way it used to. They tried like an October surprise or whatever as they call it with some model claiming that, you know, Trump groped her 4 decades ago or whatever, and it just came and went. No one gave a shit. You know, I think in the past, without, you know, the years of them being exposed, it probably would have been a story, but not anymore. I mean, I really don't think he's selling out Madison Square Garden because like the mainstream media still has the influence they do. I really don't think they do. I mean, I remember when he first got elected, like every single day or every week, there was some story that was Trump's over, bombshell. And then none of them stuck. None of them were anything. The only thing they ever got him on was devaluing the value of his condo or some shit, which is like standard real estate practices I have understood it to be. And the Stormy Daniels thing. That's like all they could get him on. All the digging, all the probing. If you're working that hard to bring down a guy and he comes back kind of clean on the end, maybe he's not such a bad guy. Did that ever dawn on you? It's like, how wrong can you be? You just continue to be wrong, and you never, am I kind of being a dick? Although I do think some people are. I do think a lot of people are just like, okay, you know what? Maybe they're lying. Maybe it's bullshit. Maybe I don't need to be this passionately hateful of the man. I don't know. I'm moving on for politics, though, because I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored talking about it. I have some other stories I could go to, but there's really only one I wanted to talk about. And this is just because I'm a big fan. So, I don't know if you guys have heard about this. We're switching right over to entertainment. William H. Macy joins Paramount's The Running Man. So if you guys are familiar with The Running Man, it was originally a novel or a novella by Stephen King, which was turned into a 80s, in my opinion, classic action movie, which is pretty dope. That voting high wearing off, Matt. Yeah. You know, I need more. I gotta go campaign for Trump or something like that. I need another hit. You know, I gotta get that dopamine flood. Yes, so they're remaking The Running Man. Growing more. Now, here's the thing. Running Man, but directed by Edgar Wright. Now, in my opinion, Edgar Wright has really fallen off of late. I did not care for Baby Driver. In fact, I thought it was flat out bad. I hated it. When I was sitting in the theater hating Baby Driver. Did not care for it. Like, was just like, I remember when it opened and the kids like walking down the street listening to music and like dancing or skipping or something like that. And then I'm like, why are they holding on this for so long? And then it dawned on me. I'm like, oh my God, am I supposed to find this like cute and adorable? Ew, I don't. This is lame as hell. And the whole movie it's like, a paper thin concept It's like, and basically it was just so that Edgar Wright could do car chases to music he likes. I mean, that was my impression of the film. It's so dumb. They built up a really good villain with Jamie Foxx, and then they kill him. He's just dead. And then, oh, now the villain's John Hamm. This is so stupid. And then Kevin Spacey is like this evil, like, you know, mob boss guy. And then actually he saves the day because young love or something. It was so stupid. Such a bad, bad movie. And then he did that other, it's not why. It's true. I can't drive a stick, but that's not why. But then they did that other movie that I don't even know what, with Matt Smith, the fucking some time traveling hooker killer or some shit. I don't know. I had no interest. I didn't really give a shit. But Edgar Wright has made some bangers. I mean, he made Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead. You know, maybe not the best, but World's End, still a pretty good movie, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which I think almost all those movies are awesome. Somebody dig up Lofty. He loves Baby Driver. Oof, well, he's wrong. Baby Driver sucks. Boo. Why can't you drive a stick shift? I just never have. I mean, I'm sure I could. It's not that hard. It just never has come up in my life. And no one I've known has owned one where I would learn how to do it. But I just, you know, just don't. I don't know why. In case like the apocalypse comes and I have to drive a stick, it's literally never come up, and I'm almost 40. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Young love ending. Terrible. But that being said, Edgar Wright does have it in him to make really good movies. So, I don't know. Let's see here. Growing more impressive by the day, the cast of Edgar Wright's Paramount pick, so it's a picture, not a series. The Running Man has added William H. Macy to its ranks. Details to Macy's role are under wraps. He joins an ensemble led by Glenn Powell. Wait, that name sounds familiar. Who's Glenn Powell? I know that name. Who dat be? Who dat be? That guy. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything. Oh, he was in Top Gun Maverick? Okay. I know his face. Oh, they're doing a Top Gun 3? Is that a real thing? Oh, they are doing a Top Gun 3. Of course they are. Nah, all right. That's overstaying its welcome. But anyway, okay, Glenn Powell's in it. Josh Brolin, hell yeah. Carl Glusman. Is that the... I do not know who that is. No idea who Carl Glusman is. Probably some young male ingenue. Katie O'Brien, Daniel Ezra, Lee Pace. Oh, Lee Pace. Okay. Jamie Lawson, Michael Cera, and Amelia Jones. Wow, I am out of touch. I do not know who most of those people are. There was a time when I knew who, like, every single name, like, when you'd read these things. I do not know who the hell that is. But anyway, based on the classic Stephen King novel written under pen name Richard Bachman, The Running Man is set in an oppressive future where the government controls the media. Yes, an impressive, a fictional universe. Certainly not the one that we live in today. Not in any way whatsoever. This is some far-off, fictional, dystopic. Can you even imagine? Could you imagine a world where the government controls the media? That would be crazy. That would be nuts. Oh, my God. This Stephen King really comes up with some crazy takes. Story follows Ben Richards as he volunteers to participate in a deadly game show, which will see him hunted by professional killers over the course of 30 days. Should he survive, he'll win a cash prize that will help save his sick child and lift his family out of a horrid living situation. Wright's feature take is the second on the heels of TriStar's 1987 Schwarzenegger star. He wrote the script with Michael Bacall and will produce alongside partner Nira Park and Simon Kinberg, with George Linder executive producing. The film is slated for release in about a year. Okay. Look, I don't know. I really like the 87 version. I think it's a great movie. I think it's super fun. I read the novel, or I think I listened to it or whatever, the novella. The novella kind of sucks. They did a much better version with the movie. In the novella, like, it spans a city, kind of like the whole country, so you can be chased anywhere, which is like an absurd premise. Like, you're like, so there would almost certainly be collateral damage every single time. So, like, what, innocent people die all the time? And if you know you're being pursued to your death, and if you survive, like, the likelihood of you hurting innocents to, like, maintain your own survival would be through the roof. So, what is this concept? It's stupid. The idea of how they did it in that big arena, like the Hunger Games or whatever, is way more plausible and smart. And the way they do it, it's so over the top. It's like bringing back gladiators, and they have like the favorite, like the stars that everyone likes, kind of making it like professional wrestling. Is brilliant. It's such a smart adaptation of the original concept. I think that was the totally the move. We'll see like what Edgar Wright's take on it is, but I don't know. I mean, the concept to me isn't sacred. To me, it's not the kind of thing that can't be touched. I mean, we're talking about a movie that's almost 40 years old. You know, it's not like, you know, even if it's a sequel where it's like girl power or whatever, I don't know. Speaking of which, just a little aside note. Last night's Penguin episode, didn't like the girl power in that. Not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but there was a scene in there I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But anyway, back to the story. I'm open-minded. I like Edgar Wright. I think for the most part he's a good director. I think there's a good potential that he can make something really cool. And if he doesn't, whatever. You know, it's not Star Wars where it's like it's a continuation of the story and you're breaking like the entire foundation of what came before it. You know, it's not Game of Thrones where you're dropping the ball entirely and like basically destroyed my entire like insulted me for being invested in it. You know, there's so many. I don't know. I'm not that worried. If it sucks, it sucks, and I'll come here and tell you it sucks. But I would be open-minded if it's cool, if it's fun. Hello, Joshua McDonald. What's going on? Wait, what's going on here? Matt, you won't be able to buy a stick in a couple of years unless you buy a secondhand car. Yeah, precisely. It's literally never came up in my entire life. If, you know, whatever. If it does, it does. I'm not really that worried about it, okay? All right, guys? Don't forget to smash that like button harder than KK smashes the patriarchy. Nice. Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy. Good work. That's funny. Yeah, exactly. I hear she's going to be out of that job any day now. That's what I keep hearing. One of these days, she won't. Lucasfilm's coming back. I heard George Lucas is going to come back for another trilogy. Oh my god. Hello, Joshua McDonald. Is this a bit? Is what a bit, my friend? Glenn Powell is a huge star right now. Okay. In that fucking movie with Sydney Sweeney, that's a rom-com. Maybe that's the type of stuff you watch, Josh. Not what I watch, big guy. I don't know who Glenn Powell is. What was he even in that was like so cool? Twisters, okay. Hitman, he's in Top Gun Maverick. Okay, that's an ensemble though. He's not. Was he like the bad guy in it? I don't remember. Set It Up, The Dark Knight Rises. That's a 12-year-old movie. He was in Hidden Figures. Okay, gotta be honest, man. I don't really. He's not the type of. He doesn't. Nothing he's done is something I would have seen. Anyone But You. Devotion. He's in the Jurassic World show. I didn't even know there was a Jurassic World show. 10 Days. What are you even a fan of his? This is all like girl shit. Scream Queens. Sandcastle. Dude, what do you even... How would I have come across this guy except that he's like a celebrity? Why would I even know who he is? I don't even know. Glenn Powell is decent as an actor and seems fairly based. Okay. Cool. All right. I'm just tired of fucking remakes. Yeah, no, I mean, everything's a remake or a spin-off or, you know, it is what it is. I don't blame you. I get it. You know, it'd be nice to see some original content. Slow Horses is an original show. I mean, it's based on a novel, but I don't know. All the Taylor Sheridan stuff, like Tulsa King's in its new season. I started to watch the new season. I don't know how interested I am in the premise. I'll probably watch it at some point. Like, it was fun for a season. I don't know how much I want to keep watching the same idea. Hey, I'm old. I'm not in touch with the what's going on. I don't know. Whatever. It's not a bit. He hates Arcane now and the Penguin. I don't hate Arcane. I don't care. It was gay. It was way gayer than you people were pretending it was. I'm a little girl. I punch out all the bad guys. I'm so tough and strong. Cool. It's from the game. It's from the game, dude. All right, man. Whatever you say. Whatever you say, big gay. Big guy. Glenn Powell's a big deal. Okay. To who, man? I think to chicks, guys. I think maybe you guys are consuming some chick media. That's what it sounds like to me. You guys are a little on board with this fucking dude who's in the Sydney Sweeney rom-com. Sus, yo. Sus is what that is. That is sus. Hard to disagree with on Penguin. I think you may have projected girl power onto that scene because it was brilliantly written and acted scene. What the fuck does that mean? No, dude. Did you, like, I don't want to spoil it because it just came out. But that was a little girl powery bullshit. Kind of like, why did you just do that to him? What did he do to you? Like, I was so just like, well, we've both had it hard. So yeah, girl, I'll let you fucking kill his mom. What the fuck? What was that? And how is that? Is that woman, his mom's a girl too? That was horse shit. I don't know. I didn't care for that. I did not care for it. I don't know. And then, I don't know, there's been a few things too. Like even her origin story, I was like, oh, it wasn't her fault though. It was everyone else's fault. Poor girls. No accountability. Just a few threads in that show. I was like, I don't like this. This feels like the Arcane was good but woke. Damn right! It's right! Not only woke is intersexual. I don't know. It's just a little gay. I don't really care. I don't really give a shit. It's not really my thing anymore. You know, if something sucks and I happen to see it, fine. It's usually more about my expectations, right? Like if I go into something thinking it's going to be great, cool. But like when I fucking, when I played Breath of the Wild, I was like, this stinks. Everyone says it's amazing. This is horrible. It's a terrible, thin, empty, hollow, boring-ass game. Not a good game. But like, if something's like the hype is that it sucks, or I go in, I'm like, this sucks. It's like, well, why am I mad? I mean, you knew it was gonna suck. It's like, yeah, that's like the expectation. Like, what? Why? What'd you think you were gonna get out of this? I don't know. Anyway, I think Glenn Powell's for chicks, Josh. That's what I think, and I think maybe deep down, maybe you're trans. I'm just kidding. I just don't know. Like the only thing I've ever seen that he was in was Top Gun, and that came out years ago now. 2 years ago? Something like that. All right, whatever. Yeah, 2 years ago, Top Gun Maverick. Okay, it was a good movie. Since then, he did Twisters, which I didn't see, obviously. And Anyone But You, the rom-com with Sydney Sweeney. Okay, no. Hitman. I didn't even hear about that movie. I don't even know what that is. He plays Gary Johnson. Oh, it looks like another. A professional moonlighting as a hitman. Ooh. Wow, how clever. The cutting edge of storytelling. Sorts for his city police department descends into a dangerous, dubious territory where he finds himself attracted to a woman who enlists his services.
Well, this is going to get wacky. This is going to be crazy. What kind of shenanigans is he going to get into out there? Oh, boy. I don't know. Well, I hope he comes out the other side better for it.
Boo. Boo. What sus is you referring to Glenn Powell as the dude from the Sydney Sweeney rom-com? Most people just say Top Gun Maverick unless they're chicks or faggots. I'm not going to remember the fifth lead in the Top Gun Maverick movie, dude. And then be like, oh, you don't know him? Where have you been? Oh, I'm sorry. I watched that movie 2 years ago. And it was fun, but it was like an amusement park ride. It was like, all right, I got off, and I don't like details. Yeah, that guy. You remember the bad-ish guy from the antagonizing the secondary character? Oh, yeah, right. I couldn't picture his face. You don't know him? How could you not know him? Because he's never done anything in a lead role that I would have seen, obviously. I think you got a fucking crush on this guy, dude. I think you got fucking posters on your wall and you're cranking to him. And you're like, how does this guy not know who Glenn Powell is? He's got perfect abs. I don't know, dude. Oh, is Josh really a gay guy? Oh, well, that actually kind of makes sense. That tracks a lot better. A lot more. I don't know. For real guy. Yeah, that makes more sense. Honestly, that really makes way more sense. Because I've never seen anything with Sydney Sweeney in it, and I know the hell she is. That makes a lot more sense, Josh. Yeah, okay, that tracks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, well, there we go. He plays Hangman Matt. He's like the bad guy who turns good at the end. Okay, whatever. Big deal. All right, not like the best movie I've ever seen. It's fine if you don't know him, but if you're going to cover media, you should probably know your stuff. Just saying. I'm fine, dude, being completely ignorant on who the hell, I already forgot his name, Glenn Powell is. I don't care, dude. It doesn't matter to me. Like, all right, fine. Glenn Powell. I don't care. Like, I can't care. I can't even get upset about it. I don't give a shit. It's just funny you're, like, antagonizing me for this, like, very much, like, D-tier actor who's, like, probably on the come up. That's great. Good for him, but I don't, like, know him. He's never done anything I've ever seen. Hello, Janet Banana. Thanks for popping in. Abomination AJ, what's going on, y'all? Everybody's popping in here towards the end of my stream, but it's good to see you guys. Thank you for getting in here. I was just gotten to a spat with Josh over not knowing who Glenn Powell is. Maybe I should do, like, I guess everyone knows now, but I'd like to do like a what's it called, like a poll and see if you knew who Glenn Powell was before this came up. I just did not. I did not. I don't know. Is there anything else I really want to talk about? Okay, I'll wrap it up with this. There's two little comedy stories. I still think Matt's more gay than Josh. That's pretty funny. But anyway, so now this is kind of like an older story, but I was actually like, maybe I should have talked about it when it came out, or I just wish I heard more about it because I thought it was pretty interesting. So Shane Gillis, comedian from Philadelphia, he went on SNL earlier this year. It was earlier this year. I think. I don't remember. Anyway, in the past 12 months, he did it. And it was a big win because he was cast as a cast member and then immediately got fired because of some insensitive jokes that were referred to Asian people. Dear God, it was horrible. And then, he very famously had a very huge come up afterwards. One of the biggest podcasts. I think that he has the biggest Patreon. Maybe, I don't know if still, but he did for a long time. Had his tire show, giant specials, all the Kill Tony stuff, the Trump stuff, all the sketches, millions of views, blah, 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 right? So he does SNL. It's huge victory laps. Like, way to go. That's so cool. Basically, them admitting their mistake without having to admit it. That's cool. Well, they offered him, I think, for the season, they offered him to come back and do Trump for the whole season, and he said nope, turned him down, which I thought was pretty cool. That's a pretty baller move. But also, I don't think he wants to. He said, like, the week of doing it sucked. It was, like, a lot of work. It was very stressful. And it's, like, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was, like, funny, but it wasn't hilarious. Like, it was fun to see Shane there, but it wasn't, like, that great. Like, I don't know how funny those group of people could really make something. So I thought that was interesting that he was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm good doing my own show on Netflix and my Patreon and my stand-up specials and selling out like the Wells Fargo Arena in Philadelphia. I don't really need to come back and do SNL. I think that's just so indicative of where entertainment is, especially comedy. Maybe not film and television because you still kind of need the infrastructure to build stuff like that. But for stand-up, it's just kind of like no, or comedy in general. It's like we don't really need the establishment. It's almost kind of like a hindrance. It's like you're gonna get paid less, you're gonna work more, it's gonna be less funny, and then you're beholden to the machine. And it's like now, I don't know, you see, like, we were watching it on Zach's show the other night. You had Kill Tony in this tiny little comedy stage, very low production value, like any mic or whatever you'd see here in Austin or like any city. And then they do Madison Square Garden like 10 years later or whatever. I mean, it's like, it just doesn't need the machine. It doesn't need like all the elements and the agents and the, you just don't need it really. All you just need is a presence. It's like, not like that's easy to come by, but you do not need the machine, least of all someone like Shane. I thought that was pretty interesting, pretty indicative. Wait, what's going on? I mean, to be fair, Matt is better than AJ. Thanks. Oh, you guys are just going back and forth. Okay. Us. Hey, Matt, you like Glenn Powell? Matt, hey, why don't you go suck a bag of... I don't know if that was the exchange, Wake Down. I don't think it's quite like that. I mean, you can go back and check the tape if you want, guys. I'm not even drunk. But SNL could be funny, but most of the main actors are producers as well and only accept the joke skits they wrote. I've heard that as well about it. I've heard that they're kind of like the same way, that it's just kind of like, it's just very political and backstabby, and it's just lame. I don't know. Who cares? You know, just like, does anyone actually authentically watch SNL? Like, I had like a bunch of dudes over to watch the Shane SNL because I thought that was funny. You know, I thought that was cool as hell. Shane's on SNL, like, let's go. And it was like, it was fine. It was fine. You know, I was happy for Shane, but I definitely didn't watch the next week. And I think the next week is when they had Sydney Sweeney on. And they're like, see, guys, they like Shane, they like tits, come back. Well, like, nah. No, thanks. Interesting fact, though. So now this I thought was pretty interesting. So this one I will pull up the article. So you know how we say, or it's kind of like, you know, cancel culture was like a big deal. And it's kind of like cancel culture's over. Well, guess what? Guess what? It's not quite. Now, I thought this was pretty fascinating. Now, this is also an older article, too. But I thought it was pretty interesting. So Andrew Schultz is a big podcaster and comedian. Also does giant venues like MSG. One of the first comedians to really kind of cut out on his own and almost like exclusively build a name for himself on clips and Instagram, YouTube, like one of those like new age like internet comedians, you know. And now he's huge. Gigantic comic. So he had Trump on a few weeks ago on Flagrant 2, I think the name of the podcast is. I don't really watch it. I watched some of the Trump stuff. He was cracking them up, which I thought was funny because it was like mostly comedians. But he went on. He had Trump on, which I guess is still like a no-no. So he was going to film his next special in a venue in Brooklyn, and they canceled it. So according to Schultz, he was to shoot his next comedy special at the Brooklyn Academy of Music, BAM for short, which I've been to because I'm super cultured. However, shortly after his massively popular interview with Trump went live, the venue notified it was canceling the gig. It was an awesome interview, and everybody loved it. Oh, this was Schultz. And then a day later, like, oh, by the way, the venue you're going to shoot your special and canceled the shows. Within 3 hours. 3 hours, he does an interview with Trump. Bam's like, we want nothing to do with you. That's pretty interesting, you know? Not to say, like, fucking woke, but you know what? There are still people out there. Cancel culture is still alive in the hearts of many. And I thought that's pretty interesting. Not that it'll matter. Not that this will even trip up Schultz in any way. And I'm sure whatever venue he goes to will be super happy to have him. Maybe he'll do it at the mothership, you know? Who knows? He can find another place in Brooklyn. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I did think that was kind of interesting. I thought like cancel culture was like a thing of the past, like totally over. No one does it anymore. Guess not. I guess not. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching me, watching the MFer Podcast and hanging out with me, antagonizing me, Josh, for not knowing who you crank it to, I guess. Sorry. Oh, what are you saying here, Josh? I don't know if you all saw Shapiro's thread. The New York Times is targeting conservative YouTubers to try and argue that their monetization should be pulled. Yeah, they're not gonna go down without a fight, these people. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna fight hard. But you know, we'll stay strong. It won't go out there, vote for Trump, vote early, vote often, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. You guys have been a lot of fun. And I'll see you next week. Next week's going to be a good show. Next Monday, me, Zach, Nick Weiser, talking politics, talking the future of this great nation, our projection for what's going to happen the next night. We'll talk past elections. You know, maybe we'll just talk about presidents. I don't know. I'll have some fun. I'll prepare some interesting things. and we'll have a good time. But hey, hell yeah, Wait Down. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for popping in. But yeah, Nick rules. Nick does indeed rule, so it's going to be a fun time. So make sure you come back next week, same bat time, and we'll do the show. Nick, Zax, talking politics. All right, you guys have been great. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful frickin' evening. Ta-ta.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Yeah, boy!